So as the saying actually goes, the love of all money is the root of all evil, and that brings us into step 4, or rule 4, of the 10 basic rules for better living by Manly P. Hall, and that is never accumulate more than you need. So we see it everywhere, and this actually ties into rule 3, and if you haven't seen rule 3, I'm just going to put it up here, and by the way, I guess I'm also going to put the entire playlist up here so you could watch the rest of them. But this ties in with rule 3, where I was talking about the billionaires, and you see people that are billionaires, and that, you know how they get to be billionaires is because they let money, the love of money, rule their life. And Manly P. Hall even talks about at one point in this section that the love of money and accumulation almost becomes a drug in a sense. Like, you will become addicted to it, and it will be worse than any drug or alcohol ever, where you get to the point where you just can't stop. That love of money becomes so great that you forget all the important things in life, essentially. And we see that plenty, especially in the United States, how it is today. That's honestly something that no one can deny. But you would ask, what's more important than money, right? Well, money is just a tool that helps us to be able to do the things that we love, and to also to help us to enrich ourselves in a way that is not monetary. So Manly P. Hall poses a question that he says that most people in life face at some point. What would my worth be if I were to lose everything tomorrow? Some people would say, well, you're worthless. Well, you'd be wrong. You might not be wrong, actually, but it depends on how you're able to answer this question, because some people are, all they are is their money and their wealth and their possessions in this life. But Manly P. Hall talks about how if you're going to accumulate anything, yes, you could accumulate possessions, but not accumulate more than you need, obviously. But it's more important to accumulate internal wealth, like your happiness, first off, how you treat others, your demeanor to other people, anything that makes you an actual good person, instead of accumulating things externally. So that's the answer to that question is, how much would you be worth if you lost everything tomorrow? Well, it all depends on who you are on the inside, and that's the more important thing to accumulate. But he goes on to talk about, essentially, which this isn't entirely true, money can't buy you happiness. It can up to a certain extent. But having too much of it isn't going to get you anywhere. You end up spending it lavishly, and you end up forgetting how to be a good person. And we see that too, is people, they become snobby just because they're rich. And it might not be the person who made that money, but it's their offspring who become snobby little kids because they didn't understand the internal factors that were necessary to actually grow that external abundance in that way and have that wealth, and they're not prepared for it. He even said, Manly P. Hall being he, that Socrates used to, if he really wanted to curse someone, he would say, I hope your children live a life of extravagance, because there's no more worse of a curse than someone who acquires a lot of wealth and money without actually having properly put into work to get it first. Because if you don't, then you don't respect it, you don't appreciate it. So then it's like with most people, when they win the lottery, they just bah, 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 throw it all over the place. That's not always the case. Some people actually handle it really well, but on the most part, that's not the case, because they might have deserved the money, don't get me wrong, but they didn't earn it in the way that most people do through hard work, or unless God or the infinite spirit, or however you want to call the creator of this world, the all, bless them because of their hard work through other means and through other acts of kindness. That's the people who get it from deserving it. But to go back to the point is, the love of money can be like a drug, and once you're addicted to it, it's hard to get away from, and you end up honestly turning yourself into depravity. Because I mean, you look at people like Jeff Bezos or Steve Jobs or any of them. They end up having all this billions and billions of dollars and money and stuff like that, and instead of treating their workers nicer and raising the standards of care and of pay for all their employees and whatever the case may be, they end up just wanting to boost stockholder earnings, and that's all that's important, because if they earn more, then the company earns more, and their valuation gets to become more, and it's just like a vicious little cycle that plays into it. And this isn't me being against stock markets or anything. I think any smart person should invest, period. But there is both sides to every coin, and as I've said before, there are infinite shades of gray, and there's not just the black and white. But I feel like I've touched all I can on this subject without beating a dead horse. If you don't know me, my name is Brendan. This is The Lost Tribe, a channel that exists to elevate the mind and make people better people through these lessons and teachings that I portray. If you like this content, please consider hitting that like button. Leave a comment down below if you have anything to say about this specific video, or if you have any interesting topics that you want me to talk about in the future. I am glad to take all kinds of ideas. If you also do like this content, please consider subscribing so you can actually get this pushed to you with the push notification button, and I can grow my channel and be fully monetized, do all those good things. Spread the word out to more people, because the more people that can hear this, the more people that can help is better for me and better for you guys, so we could push this world in the direction that we actually want it to go into. And if you do want to support me, I am an author. I have a dystopian fiction thriller novel called The Phoenix and the Flames by Brendan Landry. That's me. It's available on Amazon. I will put a link down below so that you can check that out. It's an easy way for you to support me while also getting added extra value out of supporting me, instead of me putting up a Patreon and doing all that good jazz. I mean, I probably will eventually anyways, but yeah, this would be a good way to support me for the time being. But that's it. Once again, my name is Brendan. It's The Lost Tribe. Peace out.